Okay.
All right, folks, here we are. That's right. Here, it's getting dark. It's dark in AT&T Stadium, but guess what? And I know why it got dark real quick. The
Yeah.
Houston Texans came in first. They first time appearance on Monday Night Football since 2019, and defeat the Dallas Cowboys 35-10. Texans, like I stated, this is their first appearance since 2019. And like true house guests, they came in and kicked over the furniture and left all kind of stains on the carpet and everything. Elvin, your quick comments on the on the Texans performance against the Cowboys, and for folks that's wondering, is Mike McCarthy still have a job? Who else is going to take this job for the end till the end of the season? And that's just my comment, real quick.
Yeah. Well, first off, 34-10, not 35-10.
Thank you. All
But
right, 34.
secondly, you bet. But secondly, my thoughts. I had a bunch of friends, as you know, I cover the Cowboys home games just like the Texans. A bunch of my friends have been asking me since last, I guess, Wednesday or Thursday, what I thought about the game. And coming in, I told everybody Texans by at least 21, and they did exactly what I said they were going to do. Uh, the best way to sum it up, the Dallas Cowboys are an absolute dumpster fire, and Jerry Jones will not fire Mike McCarthy before the season is over. He was asked about that after the Eagles game last Sunday night, and he said he had done that twice during the season, and it didn't work out, which, of course, referring to Jason Garrett and our good friend, uh, Mr. Phillips, who is the best defensive coordinator in the history of the Wade of the NFL.
You
So
talk you talk you
although he
talking about
probably should
you talking about
do
Bum's
what?
son, right? You talking about Bum's
Yeah,
son, right?
yeah. So I said
Yeah,
Wade. Uh,
yeah, I know. But
you
I want
know,
I want I
he
want
should have.
I just want to give some clarity to that for some people who did not
Yeah,
know.
you bet. But Jerry is not going to fire him before the end of the season. The money right now is on Belichick. The only reason I think Belichick might take it because it is the Dallas Cowboys, and he would have a lot of visibility. But I really think Belichick only wants to come back to get those additional 15 wins to have the all-time record of most wins by an NFL coach and surpass Don Shula. And, if he can do that, I think he'll hang it up. But I don't know anybody in their right mind that would want to become the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry lost a ton, as everybody knows, in free agency this year. He didn't get anybody worth a stinking flip to replace his losses. He's had injuries left and right. This thing is just going to continue spiraling downhill. I went into Mike McCarthy's post-game press conference like I always do at AT&T Stadium, and being polite, he doesn't have a clue what button to push. I mean, it's obvious they don't have a clue what to do. I was proud to see the Texans do what they did because I did not want to see them come in and play down to the level of the competition. I thought they did that to some degree in the first half, but in the second half, they came out smoking. And of course, that uh, double fumble for the before the touchdown is really what sparked that second half for Houston. But I was real proud of them, and of course, they're 7-4 now. And with the Titans coming to NRG on Sunday, there's no reason the Texans shouldn't get to 8-4 and be in total control, as they almost pretty much are anyway, of the AFC South.
You mentioned the Derek Barnett. That's who strip sack caused the whole. He
Yes.
was the catalyst of that. In fact, he was the one. And let's I had a discussion with some of my colleagues right before D'Amico came into the conference. Came into his presser. That was the first touchdown that the Texans had scored in the second half since the last touchdown, and that was at the 7:47 mark up against the New England Patriots in Foxborough, and that's when Damian Pierce went 54 yards for a
Right.
score, and that was the last time the Texans had scored a touchdown in the second half, and up until
Wow.
that point. So And some folks say, well, offensive touchdown. I don't give a flying flip. It was a touchdown. They had not
How?
scored a touchdown offensively or defensively since that point. So the bottom line was the Texans broke the drought, and uh, Barnett, heck of a move. I mean, he called, he got a sack, strip sack, created a fumble, and then all
Yep.
of a sudden, and then P, Petrie,
Yep.
hit the other guy and then caused another fumble. And then in turn, what that caused was a situation. And then he was able to scoop the ball back up. Basically, it was two fumbles within the play, and so he was able to pick up and score. And that pretty much sort of moved the Texans to a position of dominance. And from that
It
point
did.
forward, they woke up and they basically just gonna put it in, they laid the wood to the Cowboys. Okay. They
Yeah,
laid the wood to the Cowboys tonight, folks.
they
So
did.
no, there's no ifs, ands, and buts. There's no another way we're gonna get around this. So that's just the way it is. So accept it for what it was worth. It was interesting that there was a stat put up on the big screen that the Cowboys had the most appearance of any other team on Monday Night Football. And I think they had a winning record on 85 and 50. I mean, I don't know if you saw the same thing. I was able to, catch it and grasp it. And, as I mentioned earlier, the Texans hadn't been on Monday Night Football since 2019. And, here the Cowboys, people trying to figure out how they next. I think they got another primetime game that they want them to flex. But I think you mentioned it to me. They can't flex the game because of the nature of the programming on Fox, so they can't get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, they can't do that in the Cincinnati Bengals game. That is the Monday night game, but they do still have a Sunday night game, and they may be able to flex that. That's against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, it could be flexed, and honestly, it should be. I mean, the Cowboys do not belong on prime time the rest of this season. Just pure and simple.
Yeah, but that's America's team, man. Why not? I mean, how dare you? That's almost like you speaking blasphemy or something.
Let me tell you what. I'll tell you who America's team is now. It's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I
Are
mean,
you
I know
sure?
they got beat by
Are you
Buffalo, but Buffalo beats them in the regular season just about every time they play.
true?
Uh, but
True.
I think they're America's darlings now. The Cowboys, with what they've done the last 4 years, falling apart in the playoffs 3 years, and then the dumpster fire of this year. Uh, America's team title no longer applies to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry, but that's just the cold hard facts.
And well, they aren't who we think they aren't who we thought they are, and they aren't who we think they are now, and they aren't who they think they are. Quickly, I got Joe Mixon 3 touchdowns tonight. He had a run for one run. He had the hat trick. He scored 3 times. I want to get a quick let Joe get in here. I got Danielle Hunter, and you weren't in the presser with D'Amico Ryan, so needless to say, I had a little fun with Coach tonight, and there was a couple of penalties called that first touchdown that was called back because the Texans first play from center,
Yep,
77 yards against Nico Collins, and Laramie Tunsil was called for offensive, illegal player downfield, which was bogus because it clearly showed he
yep.
was in that zone where a lineman could be. But anyway, that be that as it may, and I'm not playing that one. I'm playing the second one because Damian, Jamie Petrie, made a heck of a tackle on the receiver, and he got
Yeah.
penalized for unnecessary roughness. And anyway, let me just hear you the repartee between me and the coach about that one.
All right.
Jalen tonight, obviously, to me, was a clean football hit. But for some reason,
You need to call. I wish I could say what you're saying.
I'm just, what they call, what they at the beginning of the year, shoulder, everything. The receiver made 2 steps, and all of a sudden, you got more laundry on the field, and you got it in the laundry mat.
what he said. No, Jalen played physical, man. That's what we pride ourselves on defensively, playing physical. Jalen exhibited that. We had a lot of guys playing physical out there today.
Yeah, that was me. When you win, you can have a get. Let me bring Elwin back in. Hey, Elwin, when you win, you can, it's sort of good. We, the thing about it, D'Amico, when we put hard questions to him, he stands there and take them, and then
Yep.
he doesn't shy away from it. And I know because I've laid them into him, but the thing about it, he takes it for what he takes it, and he takes it as well as he gives it. So tonight it was had a little bit of
Yep.
levity with him as far as that was concerned. But man, it was interesting because I clearly asked him, it was almost the same question I asked him about, say. Yeah, and I prefaced my question. I said, since I know you don't want to get a letter from the league, and we know how that works, for criticizing the official, and he said, yeah, that's whatever you say, I like that. And I'm going. So basically, I'm gonna post that out there on my own, either on my Twitter, Instagram, and everything.
Yeah.
Even I'm gonna post that one because I'm gonna post both of them because there were lighthearted moments. But it's a tough game, and let's face it,
It is.
good coaches, bad coaches. I know Mike McCarthy. It's not like he doesn't know football. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Right now, the Cowboys are going
Yep.
through some tough time. They're going some tough times, and so we know what it's like having covered the Houston Texans, and even prior to that, covering the
Oh yeah.
Houston Oilers. We know what it's like to go cover when teams are bad and everybody's down on them. So when you have a lighthearted moment when you can win and the coach can share into that, I think it's pretty good, at least from the members of the press. It's not like we going soft on them or anything, but you know what?
Yep.
Enjoy the moment, and that's my whole forte.
Oh,
Enjoy the
absolutely.
moment. You know what? Like I say, it's still football, folks. Guess what? The sun's supposed to still rise, later on this morning. So that being the case, that's where we are. Uh, Quickly, Joe Mixon had the hat trick tonight, and we just like to get Joe in here, and then I'm gonna get your closing point because I know you're almost home, much because I know you were flying down the road. Aren't you
Oh
flying
no.
down?
No, I got about another hour.
Okay, hold on, man.
One thing I appreciate that I'm able to be in this position, but when it come down to it, it's a team effort. And without, the linemen blocking, the fullbacks and tight ends, even the receivers going in and making huge blocks, bro. I mean, like I said, them boys, they all bought in. And one thing I could do is just appreciate, their will and want to for key blocks down the field, man, and big blocks in the box. So, for me, I just got to keep on setting the tone, keep on having the boys fired up, and keep finishing. I think that, like I said, we're in a great position where we at right now, man. So just got to keep on stacking.
Yeah, like I say, it was interesting. Joe ran hard tonight. In fact, Joe has ran hard since the very first game, Elwin. No,
Oh
no
yeah.
if, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You know what's interesting? Watching the Cowboys and seeing a shadow of Ezekiel Elliott out there running. I mean, we that's and this is how bad it has gotten for the Cowboys. That you look at, you say,
Yeah.
and somebody has to call his name. Oh, that was Ezekiel Elliott on the reception, and you go like, hey man, he's just a shell of himself. This is not the same Zeke that we saw coming into the league. He's done. He's finished. There's really not nothing left in the tank for him. So
No,
and
there's
and
nothing there.
yeah, and you look at the body language of the Cowboys tonight, and even when they were in the contest, their body language betrayed them. They didn't look like they were.
Yep.
They didn't look like they were just trying to let's get this over with. That's what it
Yeah.
looked like.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
And the one thing that I saw tonight, AD, that I was impressed with, and granted, I know that was not the Detroit Lions coming at the Texans offensive line, but CJ was only sacked once tonight. I thought the line did a much, much, much better job of protecting him, really, than they've done all season.
Yeah, he got sacked once. That was a blitz on the A gap
Yep,
and they still got to work on that. But it came through the A gap. But you know what? The they cleaned up a lot from last week,
they
and
did.
they're gonna continue to clean up a lot. And so you have to take it for what it's worth. I think that I think how on the list for draft picks coming up in free agency the you got Texans got to look at some interior offensive linemen,
Yep.
i.e., maybe another center, but primarily guards. And maybe if they can come up with a tackle, so be it. I think either through the draft or free agency, they're gonna have to restock the line. That's no ifs,
Oh yeah.
ands, and buts about it. I think
Yep.
I think that's a given, and we might well go ahead and just hang your hat on the truth and tell it for what it is. But anyway, I think they are sufficient. They they played hard. They blocked good tonight, and they kept for the most part. And let's face it, some of CJ's passes tonight really was on his footwork because he really
Yeah.
was not. He really was not pressured that hard tonight. So
No.
I tip my hat to him, man. I tip my hat to him, and good for him, and I appreciate everything as far. All right, Elwin. I tell you what. I know it's a little late, and I know I want you to get on home. I know I had the nail hunter here, but I'm gonna go ahead and post it out on social media because I'm going to get out of here. Where I can go grab me a quick night's rest over some friends' houses down here in Cedar Hill, and then I get up in the morning and go on to the or later on this morning go to the house. But anyway, man, I appreciate you. Good seeing you, man. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
brother.
everything was great. You have a good time. Be careful going home.
Will
Will
do.
we see? I'm trying to see. Will you be down Sunday
I
or
plan on
no?
it.
Okay, okay, all right. Tell you what, we'll look to see you Sunday, and then we'll look up the hook up again on the corner then for Sunday because the Jacksonville Jaguars coming to town. So hopefully we don't we not we
I
hadn't
was
bought
thinking it was
food.
the Titans.
I meant the Titans. You're right.
Okay.
Tennessee. You're right. It's Tennessee Titans, but
Yeah.
regardless, it's a team that they can't just throw the helmets out on the field and think something's going to happen. The
No.
Texans got to come and play. That's the
Yeah, they
bottom
can't
line.
play down to the level of the competition.
No, if they get a chance to get up on top of the Titans and put them away, they need to go here and
Absolutely.
put them away. So, hey, my good friend, be careful going home or the rest of the way. And I'm going to pull out of here. Appreciate it. You take care of yourself now, okay?
Hey, will do, and I hope you have a safe trip back to H Town tomorrow, AD.
All right, we'll do. Thanks, man. You take care now.
You bet.
All right, folks. As Elwin, wish him safe travels getting back to Gilmer. Um, we got a chance to play. I didn't play Danielle Hunter. Also, Tim Settles. Texas, as I mentioned, Texas got 5 sacks tonight. Danielle got 2 of them tonight, and Coach Danielle for the last couple of weeks, even against the Detroit Lions, he had been steady coming. So, anyway, the Texans finally got together. I think the best thing that happened to them, they got touchdowns scored in the second half. That was critical for them, and I think was critical for their psyche, for them to be able to score touchdown offensively and defensively. But the fact that the defense was able to break the ice with the strip sack and then score in fact 2 fumbles within the sequence of the same play. So I tip my hat to the Texans defense for hanging in there and staying in there. So final points. Look to see you coming Sunday from NRG Stadium as the Tennessee Titans come roll into town as they take on the Houston Texans. We'll look to be on the air post game on the corner with guests, comments, and all the whole likes. So from AT&T Stadium, this is your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, getting ready to sign off, go lay my head down for a little bit, and just grab a quick night of sleep and go home. Hey, folks, be careful, be safe. Ciao, I'm out.